Hey, what's going on, everybody? Bodie here, February 2026 already. It is crazy how fast time is flying. January is gone. I don't know about you, but this time of year always feels like a good time just to take a natural spot and take a breath and tweak a few things with money. Nothing drastic, just making sure I'm not stressing over stuff that shouldn't matter if you've got things set up properly. So today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind a little lately. All the noise out there telling you how you're supposed to live. You've got one group going, man, you've got to have the nice car, the watch, the whole flex life, or you're doing it wrong, in some way. Then the other side is like, no, you've got to get rid of everything. Like super minimal, one fork, one plate, tiny, shed vibes. I've been on both ends. Back when I was buried in $175,000 of debt, I chased the shiny things, thinking it would make me feel happier. Now, I didn't think that at the time. I wasn't thinking, "Oh, I'm depressed or something, and if I buy this, I'll feel happier." You see a boat, a pontoon, and you're just like, all the things that you could do with that boat, right? All the things you could do with that motorcycle or that new truck, but the reality is, although it's nice to have them, the amount of the pressure of the debt far outweighs what positive aspects, owning those things will give you. I mean, it just doesn't balance out. And so I swung hard the other way and I said, I don't want to live like this anymore. And I cut every corner. And, although neither one of them really felt like me, owning all those things was a little overwhelming, trying to maintain and keep up with them. And then cutting everything was hard too. So I think need to find a middle ground. You need to find middle ground that fits within your budget. The Most of us aren't built to go either extreme, I would say, right? There are days where I want to just go grab, a new gadget or maybe take a drive somewhere for fun. And that does take money. There are other days where I just want to hang out, be quiet, and, it doesn't require any cash. Live how you want to live within the budget. And if that means treating yourself to something that makes you smile, like a good pair of shoes or whatever it is for you, then do it. If it means keeping things simple and low key, lean into it. The only thing that matters is doing it without screwing yourself and your family later. That's where the budget comes in, but not the scary track every penny kind. For me, it's just getting a clear look at what's kind of coming in and going out on one sheet of paper. It's one sheet of paper, folks. You got income on the top and the basics, the expenses on the bottom or the left and the right. Rent, food, bills, gas. Put your expenses underneath your income, do the math. Usually it ends up being like 12 to 20 items total. Takes maybe half an hour to write down, and once you know. It's important to know exactly what you have left over to know what you have to spend or to invest, but you're not gonna know that unless you do your budget. What I do now is I split it, into a few buckets. One for the stuff that has to get, paid, my bill pay account, and one for saving. If you wanna buy a new car, I've got a savings account that's building up. I wanna save up 30,000, 40,000 to get that car I want. Um, then there's this separate spending account. That's the most important account because that gives you your freedom to do what you want. I don't track everything within my spending account. That's the freedom of having a spending account. So, although you set the budget up, once you get that budget set up and you are able to transfer a certain amount of money into spending, you're done. You just transfer that amount into spending twice a week, maybe once a week. Once you start getting out to 2 weeks and a month, stuff like that, you're gonna spend all your money too fast. So I recommend only transferring your money into your spending account on a basis that works for you. I noticed that when I tried to transfer money from bill pay to spending, let's say on a Monday, by Friday, we didn't have any money for the weekend. So now I do it every Tuesday and every Friday. It works perfectly. It's consistent, it's easy, and once it's in there, it's your play money. I can grab whatever, I enjoy it, my wife enjoys it, no second guessing, because it's not touching your bills, and it's not going on a card that I can't pay off or don't wanna pay off. I mean, it's really just a relief. Like, you buying something you really like, walk away happy, and there's no voice in your head going, "Man, I shouldn't have bought that," or, "How am I gonna cover that?" Or, "Oh, I'll just take it out of the bill pay. I'll make it up on the next paycheck." That's the part, I wish I had figured out sooner, or I wish I would have just held myself to, because I think I knew better when I was young. But I want you to know better now so you don't get caught up in, the same type of debt situation that I did. Of course, if I ever go over in that spending bucket, I stop. I try not to get there. You just don't go over in your spending budget, right? You just stop. You're out of luck. You gotta stop doing what you're supposed to be doing for that weekend if you don't have the spending. There's a million things that you can do that don't cost money. Just stop when you run out of spending money. Maybe if you're trying to dig out of debt and you don't have enough money, you're going to sell something you don't need anymore. I've done that quite a bit. No big drama. Just get yourself back on track. Maybe you got behind by 500 bucks and you can't seem to get it off your credit card. I consider debt to be an emergency. That $500, that's an emergency. You better get it paid off, or you better sell something to get it paid off, because it will spiral and it will get out of control. And there's no easy way out once it gets very, very, deep, once that amount gets large. If you're feeling like a little reset, guys, this month, try it, jot down your numbers, set a simple split between bill pay, spending, savings, and see how it feels. Doesn't have to be a perfect, fit right away. You're going to do a lot of adjustments with your budget, and you're going to adjust how much you think you need in spending. But just do it. Start small. That's it for me today. If any of this makes sense, or maybe you've got your own version, I want you to drop it in the comments below. And, I'd really like to know kind of what's one thing that you would buy guilt free if you could right now. If you were out of debt and you had saved up enough money, what would you buy if you could just buy it outright? I know what I'd buy. I'd be getting myself a boat. I miss my boat. I'll be reading the comments below. Also, I'm going to be attaching a free budget template. Give me a few minutes. I'll get that added down there to the comments. Give you a good starting point. And in a future video, I'm going to give you a very, very nice debt spreadsheet that's going to allow you to move things around and start to pay things off in the snowball method. And it gives you some alternative methods as well. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Talk to you soon. Keep it real out there and don't spend more than what you have in your spending account. All right. Have a good one.